You won't believe what is inside this Altoids tin. No other survival tin on YouTube contains what is inside. Mind blown. Welcome to Urban Knife Guy, and today we're going to have a look at something different. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build an urban survival tin for disruption, disaster, or attack. This urban survival tin is designed to increase your chances of survival and rescue or escape, specifically in an urban environment should things go bad. It is designed for both domestic and travel use, although you cannot hand carry this tin on a plane. To help you build this urban survival tin and to keep this video from going too long, I've put together a written guide with details, photos, and product links for all the different items inside the tin. You can download it for free at urbaknifeguy.com. Let's first have a look at the outside of the tin. I know I said I won't put anything on the outside, but these bands are really to hold the tin shut so that the items don't fall about during transport. And these are known as Ranger bands. A very cool name. But we in the army used to call these black bands, because what they really are is a bicycle tire, or the inner tubing of bicycle tire, and you just cut them to create these bands. Now they're extremely strong and it's very inexpensive to get. But maybe they're called Ranger bands because the Rangers came up with this idea. If you know, please let me know in the comments. But this is very useful to hold things together, and you only need one band to hold the tin shut. So having two is pretty good because you can take one to use it and keep one still to keep the tin closed. Now let's have a look at the other items inside. First up is a commercial item. This is known as a Wallet Ninja, and this is the 2.0 version. There are basically 20 functions in this credit card size tool. It is made from steel, which has been heat treated 4 times. Not sure what steel it is made from, but it is supposed to be strong enough to perform its functions. You can see there are open hex wrenches over here. There are screwdrivers, can openers, bottle openers, a file, and a mirror. Now, you will not use all 20 functions, and I won't go through all now. I'll do a separate review video on this very shortly. But some of these will be useful in an urban survival situation and can be used in conjunction with another tool inside the tin. I'll give you just some examples. Definitely, of course, you could use the open hitch wrenches to open any nuts that you might need to bypass something. And in terms of a mirror, you could use this as a signal mirror if you're on top of a building, or if you need to secretly look around the corner of a wall to see if anyone's there. Well, you could use that as well. So that's the Wallet Ninja. The next item is also a commercial item. This is the Sparrow's Flex Pass. Based on the Hall Pass, which is made of plastic, this is made of stainless steel. Sparrow's is a company that makes lock-picking gear as well as door bypassing gear, and this is one of them. If you've ever watched a movie where someone takes a credit card, slides it between the door and the door frame to open the lock, this is basically it, but more well designed. And you can see there's a curved part here. This is when the hinges on the outside of the door, you can slide the screw and try to pull open or disengage the lock. If the hinges are on the other side, you use this to force it through and try to push it open. Now, this Flex Pass will not open every door. It might open, if we're lucky, 15 to 20% of doors now, because modern doors are very sophisticated. The locks are better. But doors in schools, office buildings, and hotels, internal doors especially, which are designed mainly for privacy, generally are lighter and the locks are more simple, right? They're just sometimes push buttons. They aren't deadbolts. Now, these are the doors that this could probably bypass, and this is where it becomes useful. If you're trapped in one of these buildings with these doors, instead of bashing down a door because that takes energy, or maybe you just need to be quiet because you're trying to evade someone, this can be useful, and 20% of doors is better than 0%. So that's the Flex Pass. Next up, we have some first aid items. And this is in a plastic sleeve, which keeps everything together, no mess, and best of all, you can actually hold down items inside the tin by pressing them down. So this is a plastic sleeve that you can get from any stationery shop. The good thing is there's a finger groove over here. I'm not sure if you can see that. Now this finger groove is very useful because it acts as a lifting groove to get this out easily. So inside we have an alcohol swab or prep pad. We have some band-aids. So I've got two different sizes here. And I also have some utility with a MacGyver tool. That's a safety pin and a bobby pin. Doesn't take up much space, but you never know when you might need something like that. And I also have a needle inside. This can be used for stitching and mainly to close up wounds. That's really the idea in this case. Not so much to fix your clothes. And all that goes into that plastic sleeve over here. Let's see what else is next. Now, if we talk about illumination, there are different tools to create light, and this is one of them. This is a mini light stick. So basically, you break it, you shake it, and it glows. So a glow stick, but in a very small mini size. And this particular one is really used for night fishing, to attract the fish. And this small glow stick says it's supposed to last 12 hours. I've actually tested a couple of them and they do last more than 12 hours. So you might be thinking, what do you need of this mini glow stick? Now, it's not going to provide you so much light that you're going to see a lot in a dark space, but really I think it's more for morale. Now, one thing I do consider is that in urban environments, if there's a disruption, disaster, or attack, it's very likely you're going to be with other people. You're not going to be alone. So in a situation, let's say you're in a lift and the power goes out and everything is dark. Some people are claustrophobic. They really panic. And when people panic, they can be quite dangerous because they might move around and do silly things. Having a glow stick like that, which can last a long time, can add kind of that comfort and just increase morale. So that's why that is there. And it can also be used for marking. For example, if you are in a darkened building and you need to mark maybe a specific location where the stairs are or door is, you could use that to mark the location as well. Next up, for utility, we have a 2-inch nail, right? So 2 inches, you might be wondering what's a nail for. You might need to puncture something. Or I was thinking in terms of evasion, once again, if you need to secure a door and you don't really have anything to secure a door, you could technically use this nail, hammer it maybe into the floor, or, hammer a piece of wood to block and maybe give you extra few minutes in order so that you can barricade the door a bit more effectively. And that is for utility. For first aid, we have a small bottle of eye drops. So these are disposable eye drops and I trimmed it down to size. So it's even bigger with more plastic and I cut it down. Now in urban situations, very likely there's going to be a lot of dust. If there's going to be any form of destruction or damage, dust due to concrete and wood, very commonplace, you might need to clean your eyes. So that's where this piece comes in. Now for utility, we also have a single cable tie, 6 inches, self-explanatory. The zip tie can be used to secure things easily, very strong as well. Now for cordage, which is also part of utility, and that is, for something to tie. This is dental floss, and I've actually used a bit of gaffer's tape just to wrap it around so it doesn't fray. But we have, I think, 8 meters of dental floss, and this is a brand called Gorilla Floss. No relation to Gorilla Tape, but it's basically the strongest dental floss on earth. 4 times stronger than regular dental floss. And this can be used to tie things together if you need. If you really need to stitch a wound, you can use this along with the needle to close up a wound. So that would be, I guess, a combination of both utility and first aid. Over here, we have a Leatherman's tool. So this is probably the most useful multi-tool in terms of utility here. So if you're familiar with Leatherman, basically it's a multi-tool with different things. What they're most well known for are the pliers here. There's pliers, wire cutters here. And if you fold this up on the inside, you can access a metal file, a blade. Now this is 420C, so it's pretty decent. Now it is very thin and small, but at least it can be used as an effective cutting tool. There's also a pair of scissors. Let's grab that open over here with the nail nick. Small pair of scissors, not sure how that would fare in a survival situation, but I guess you could cut the dental floss if you want to, more precision work. And then you have a pair of screwdrivers. So we have the flat head here, a small flat head, a smaller flat head here, and there's a bottle opener as well. So this is the Leatherman Squirt. That's the model, and that definitely used for utility. To carry on with utility and cutting tools, I have a small mini knife. This is the Spyderco Bug. So small tiny knife, but still well enough designed so that you can actually have a 2-finger grip, again, to use as a cutting tool. So it's not huge, but I felt it was important to have 2 cutting tools inside. Once again, I mentioned in an urban environment, especially if you are caught in a challenging situation, you're probably not going to be alone. You might need to work as a team of another person, and you might need more than 1 cutting tool. So with the Leatherman and with a knife like that, you have 2 different cutting tools. Over here, we have basically a lighter. This is known as a pea lighter. I'm just going to unscrew it. And there you can see the strike wheel, the wick, and there's an O-ring which actually keeps the fuel inside from evaporating. So let's strike it here, and you can see it strikes, and that's how it looks like. Believe it or not, I've kept this closed and I've not refilled this for 5 weeks. So that's how long the fuel has kept inside, and it still lights up. So that's pretty good. Now around the base of this lighter, I've actually got hemp wick, which is covered in beeswax. So this is actually wick, and why is it wrapped around here? Now because there's limited fuel inside here, if I do want to light something, I would light this and light the wick, and now I will have the wick lit. I can blow out the lighter, conserving the fuel, and I can use this to light other items, right? If you have paper around or any other flammable stuff, we can use that to light a fire if there's a need to light a fire for whatever reason. So this is hemp wick, very useful stuff, and because there's beeswax on it, it actually kind of sticks together like that. It doesn't smell too bad as well. So this would come under, I would say, both utility and illumination, because technically you could use it for light as well. We've got a bit of first aid over here. This is some antiseptic cream in a straw. So this is an old trick, and I learned this actually more than 20 over years ago in the military, because here's the funny story. We would need to create light sticks like this to tape to the back of the helmets, so that when you are, on a mission, your section or your platoon can see you. They can see a light stick behind your helmet, and the enemy can't see it from the front. But we didn't have small light sticks then. They were all the big Salem sticks or the big glow sticks. So we would have to take a syringe, break a light stick, use the syringe to draw out the glowing liquid, and seal it in a straw like that. And the way you do it, you take a straw, a normal drinking straw, you take a pair of pliers, clamp it, take a lighter, light it, and press it down against a hard surface so it seals up the end like that. Then we would push in the glow liquid, and then we'll close it up, use a pair of pliers once again to pinch it, heat it up, and it will be all sealed. And this can then be taped to the back of the helmet. So that's basically how you put in antiseptic cream as well. You get a tube of cream, you get a syringe, you pull it out. And here's a trick though for antiseptic cream. Do not seal it up first. Just push it in, because if you seal it up, the air pressure will push it back out. It's hard to fill up. So keep it open, push it in, clamp it, seal it, and cut it, and do the same for the other side. And you get a bit of antiseptic cream in this sealed straw, which can be very useful as well for first aid. We've got some matches, again, for illumination as well as utility. These are actually cigar matches, and I do recommend getting cigar matches. Now, you can buy windproof, stormproof matches as you want. This is more of a DIY job. Buy cigar matches because they're thicker and they're actually very long. So you buy them from a cigar shop, or you get them from a cigar shop if you buy a cigar. If not, maybe they'll sell it to you. Then you take nail polish and you paint it up, give it a couple of coats, let it dry. And now you have waterproof matches. And I've just put them all together with some duct tape, or gaffer's tape in this case, so that, they're all together and they're not loose around. Along with more illumination and utility in terms of fire, Again, I have a sealed tube here, but this is really a cotton ball or cotton wool soaked in Vaseline, so petroleum jelly. So it becomes flammable. And this I stuffed in using that nail, and then sealed it up. And so I now have some flammable material if I need to start a fire easily, and I just don't have anything around that catches fire. This would do the job. Now be careful when you seal this, because remember, this is flammable, so watch where your lighter is when you seal it. We've got some gaffer's tape over here. So what I have is, I think, about 3 to 4 feet of gaffer's tape. So you can use duct tape if you want. Gaffer's tape is a bit more expensive, but it leaves no residue and serves the same function, also pretty strong. And this is 2 inches of gaffer tape, or at least the width is 2 inches. And I took a Q-tip or earbud, started wrapping it. I cut it to 2 inches, and I started wrapping the duct tape or gaffer's tape around. And when you practice more, you try to get it as even as possible. If not, it juts out a bit like that. But that's also a bit of utility. For illumination, we have a mini flashlight. This is the Olight IR2. So very powerful flashlight for what it is. So definitely, I think, in terms of an urban survival situation, illumination is critical. So a flashlight is very important. I've got some painkillers wrapped up in aluminum foil. Honestly, in a survival situation, this is not going to really help much. Your adrenaline is going to really get you through a lot of things. But maybe, again, you're with someone who might need painkillers, or you might want to take it. So that's there. Maybe just more for comfort or knowing it's there. A safety pin. Again, a small piece of utility that you might need. And with a survival whistle. Now, normally you think of a survival whistle for wilderness sort of gear, but actually in an urban setting, if you're trapped, let's say in a building which has collapsed, or maybe you're cordoned off because there's a big fire, you can't be shouting all the time, so you use a whistle, and there's a night cord titanium whistle. And that's about it. The only other thing is the striking surface over there, which is taped to the inside of the lid, and that's of course to facilitate the matches when you need it. And there you have it, one tin with 25 items and over 50 functions. As mentioned, if you'd like to build this kit, I have a written guide with photos and product links for the different items in the tin. You can download it for free at urbanknifeguy.com. I'm now going to show you how to pack the tin so that everything goes back in the exact same place, because there is an order to this madness. If you looked at the tin, it was quite well organized, and that's to make sure that everything fits in tight and you don't have much loose rattle. But before I do that, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share this video on social media. If you'd like to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Alright, now let's pack the tin. So first you start with the flashlight and the gaffer's tape which goes there. Then I take the Leatherman squirt, always with the key ring on the lower corner. So that holds it kind of in an L shape in place, like that, securely. And then I can put in the knife and the safety pin. Next, I take the lighter and the dental floss and put it together like that. And I push it off to the side because I want a little space on the left later for the cable tie. I take the survival whistle, and the good thing about this nightcore whistle is there's a cut here. It actually fits in the curved corner of the tin very well. Then I take the straw with the cotton wool and put it in, and I made that about the same length as the survival whistle as well. Then I take these 3 matches as one unit, put it on top, and now let's put the painkillers in the aluminum foil, and that just fits in there very nicely. I put the light stick over here, and now I put the cable tie back, and this is a bit of a tricky part. You need to make sure, because there's a lot of flex with the cable tie, you want to put it in such a way it doesn't get in the way of things. So I kind of press the base of the pea lighter over there to the side, and you can see how it curves around the side. This allows me to take the antiseptic cream in the straw and put it vertically by the side and put the eye drops there. You can see how it just fits so nicely, and it becomes very secure. Nice fit right there. The nail goes here, and I always have the head against this side of the tin, it presses against the cable tie as well, so pressing it in place. And then we put together the first aid in this plastic sleeve. The first thing to go is the needle. So I push that in all the way to the side. Then I take the two band-aids, stack them together, and slide them in place, making sure it's all the way in, followed by the alcohol prep pad. Then I take the bobby pin. Now I put it on the inside. Notice I'm just putting it on the inside of the sleeve, not clipping everything together. And that's because I do not want it to press on the beeswax on the lighter over there. Things get a bit sticky. So that goes there like that, all one package. And this fits in very well, just like that. And finally, I take the flex pass with the long side to the front, the wallet ninja, also the long side in front. I close it up and I make sure that the two metal credit card size tools go into the lid of the tin, just like that. So now everything closes tight. I take the bands. This is how you use it. Use one finger to hook it so that you can loop it over. Once again, one finger to loop it, and then you can loop the rest over like that. And there you have the tin all prepped, ready to go. If you have stayed to the end of this video, thank you so much. I know it's been a rather long video, but thanks for being on this ride with me. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content, do subscribe to the channel. Much more content like this to come. Thanks for watching.